Welcome to CityWise. I'm your host, Tiana Stevens. CityWise is produced by the City of Rochester to shine a spotlight on city living at its best. Well, its mission is to celebrate and bring recognition to Rochester's talent while providing a platform to give back to our community. And for the fourth year in a row, it's doing exactly that. The 2016 ROC Awards is just around the corner, and here to tell us all about it is Yolanda Smiles of Smiles Entertainment and Toshman T-Powell, host of the ROC Awards. Thanks for joining us today.
How are you?
Good. So Yolanda, the ROC Awards are your baby.
Yes.
You've been at this. This is the fourth year in a row. How did this get started?
Well, it kind of started really quick. I was in the house, and it's kind of funny because the comedians were kind of like beefing.
And you're a comedian.
I'm a comedian, so they were like at each other, and it was like, can we just all get along? And I know that's kind of weird that comedians were like having problems, but
right.
And then the BET Awards came on, and I called Grant Tone, who is one of a good pioneer in Rochester community. I said, Grant Tone, I got this idea. I was like, listen, let's do the ROC Awards, like the BET Awards, and everybody just celebrate each other. And he was like, oh my God, in his words, that'd be so dope.
Everybody knows Grant Tone. It sounds just like him.
Right, so dope. And then he introduced me to Miss Yon, who was one of my partners for the last 3 years. And from there, we, with both companies, Rock Royal and Smiles Entertainment, we went forth and we just continued to push forth the dream. The first year that we did the ROC Awards, we were only expecting 300 people to come, and 400 showed up at the door on top of the 300. And then the following year, 1,200 people, and we had to turn 500 people away.
Wow. So
it's just been increasing every year, and it's just been a great opportunity for us.
And I'm sure as soon as one award show is done, you're probably planning the next one. A lot of planning goes into it. How has it changed over the years with venue, obviously, in size?
Well, we started out in the hotel banquet. Once we reached that mark of the 1,200, we started looking for a bigger venue, and then that's Kodak on the Ridge, which is now owned by RAPA, invited us in, and we used that facility, which was great for our third year.
Sure.
And that holds over 1,900 people, so it was a great opportunity. Last year we got hit with the snowstorm, and it was kind of declined in attendance, but 800 people still came out in a state of emergency. So that just shows you how much people believe in it. So it's definitely a lot of changes with the nomination and voting process as well.
And Toshman, you're the host for the 2016 ROC Awards. How did you get involved with Yolanda and the ROC Awards?
Well, I do a lot of projects with Yolanda. We try to work together between her comedy and my music. We try to collaborate a lot. But this year, Yolanda reached out to me to be the host. One of her words was that it was my time, like it was my season. She felt like a lot of the things that were happening that I have going on my own were a match for what she needed for the ROC Awards.
Sure.
My energy and stuff like that. We work. She know how I work and how I like to host shows. So I think she know what she want for the stage. She know what she want the people to leave with. So that's why she called on me.
And we saw you earlier this year out with the mayor for a very fun flash mob. So you've been involved in the community. What are some of the things that people in Rochester know you for?
Okay, well, most people know me for my youth development company, which is Major Moves. I've been working in the community teaching dance and dance workshops, comedy workshops, just basically using entertainment and performing arts as a vehicle to tap into our youth and keep them off of the streets, keep them involved in some of these positive things like the ROC Awards. A lot of people don't know that the ROC Awards actually is it's like a volunteer hub for teens, people who want to clock volunteer hours and stuff like that. They can volunteer for the ROC Awards. So most people know me for Major Moves, dance. They know me for my music. I'm just an independent artist. I like to create music. I work closely with a music producer named JK Productions. He's a local producer, but we work closely together and write music for a lot of artists here and out of town. But I would say most people know me for dance in the community, music as an adult, and then in the entertainment field. And I've dibbled and dabbled a little bit in art and acting and things like that.
You're in the right place for that in Rochester. What's your vision for the upcoming awards, Yolanda?
I just want people to know that we're taking it to another level and to take it more serious. So we're taking different avenues to make sure that that is being done. We have a big supporter this year, which is WDKX, who is backing us with, you know, media support and on-air support and things like that. So it's just basically letting everybody know to respect something that's going to be here forever. And I think with our theme this year called #OurTime is just giving everybody their season to understand that this is the season where it's going to another level, and that's my vision, so that when they walk out of there, they're going to be just wow from the time they walk in to the time they leave.
Sure. So in previous years, how did you get the word out, and how did it grow so fast?
Social media. We did social media. We did postcards, you know, the flyers and posters, and me and Ms. Jan's both followings. We both have big followings, and then everyone involved who believed in it just pushed it, and we did maybe a couple radio announcements and stuff like that, but we just pushed it word of mouth, and people just been coming. You know, some come to be nosy, some come to support, some just come. So
I've seen the pictures out on social media, and it looks like a really great time. Tell me about the atmosphere. There's a red carpet there.
Yes, it's red carpet event, and what we did, we never put a dress code on it. We basically set the standard that is red carpet, and your red carpet may not be everybody's red carpet, and we found that out. We found that out in the last couple of years. That
some people red carpet is not even carpet.
No, it's definitely
linoleum.
Right, and so you know you have from your rainbow to your bare wing. It's just like people come and they come dressed how they feel comfortable, and we love it. Just to see the different artistic ways.
It's creative.
Very creative.
You get to see a lot of creativity.
Yes, you do.
You get to see what people's idea of dressing
red
up
carpet.
is.
That's fun.
It's cool
fun.
though. I think everybody enjoys it, and it's something that people look forward to. Because I mean, like, there's a lot of talent in the city. So to be able to be awarded for anything, just to be able to say that you have done these things, I think that's a dope opportunity for a lot of people, for businesses, for artists. Anyone who wants to be acknowledged, you know.
What are some of the categories of awards?
We do best business. We do best R&B, gospel, hip hop. In the theater, we do web series, theater plays, and graphic designs. We do pretty much photography. We have over 40 categories that people can, you know, submit
best
their
host.
Yes. And
best R&B male artist.
I can't wait. He's trying to put a plug in.
But now, as host, do you not qualify to be an award winner?
Well, no, he doesn't qualify.
I'm gonna let Yolanda answer
Well,
that.
this is what I told my people, because I have a lot of people who are business owners, who are artists, and they felt like if they help, does that, you know, move them out of the way? I said no, because your work, it doesn't stop. Because you're helping does not mean that your work should not be acknowledged, and you should not be praised for who you are. And if you win, you win. That's just that simple. And I don't think somebody should be not acknowledged because they're helping out an award show, or if you did the work, you did the work. Simple. You know, and if you win, you win. And if you don't, you don't.
That was a concern.
How do you determine who wins?
Well, that was the biggest thing that happened. One of the biggest changes that we made over the last year, which was a big concern in our community. Our community was, when we first started this, we didn't want to be the selecting people to pick who won. So what we did was we let the community nominate, we let the community vote. And whoever got the most votes and nominations, that's who won. So, but it became more of a popularity contest. And then we realized certain people who, not saying that people who won didn't deserve it, but there was people who lost deserved it more. If that's the correct way of saying it. So now we put in place, you can nominate yourself. You can have other people nominate you. The top 5 in those categories that get the most nomination does move over to the voting process. But you will not just be acknowledged on nominations alone. We have a secret board that's looking at your work as well. So they're going to look at the final numbers and see who actually put in the most work, and that's the person that actually is going to win.
Okay. What type of performances and entertainment can we expect? Tashman, is there a
Oh, I got a lot.
surprise in store for you?
I'm bringing the whole bag of tricks.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
I got a lot that I'm bringing with me. I'm involved in a lot of things, which is why I'm happy that Yolanda decided to move forward with me being the host this year. So I want to be able to leave it all on that stage. I want people to leave the ROC Awards knowing everything that I do. And I mean, from the music to the dance to the comedy to the acting, I want them to get a piece of it all from the time the show starts to the time it ends. I want them to feel like a celebrity hosted it. I'm talking about outfit changes, I'm talking about props, I'm talking about lighting and live music, you know, like, because at the end of the day, I feel like a host is very important. No matter what show you go to, a host is important. The host can determine the highs and lows. The host can make sure that there are no lows. And that's what I want to provide for the ROC Award. I want to make sure that in between each act, in between each nomination and award given away, there's no time for, hey, we need to do this because I'm gonna have like 10 or 15 things to put on the stage for any dead time, and she knows that. So I mean, I'm gonna bring a lot with myself, but I know Yolanda has a lot of ideas for the performances and stuff that's gonna be a part of it.
I do. We actually are doing some great things where we're gonna be doing comedy spoofs all the way up for the marketing to lead up to the grand opening of the whole show. So it's gonna lead with him doing a lot of different 15 to 1 minute spoofs that people can, you know, watch on the website and stay connected to say like, okay, what's happening now? So it's gonna be, you know, you can follow him all the way to the award show, so you can see all those great things. And we have some great performers that is gonna be a part of it this year. We got Urban Plaza, Suburban Plaza.
Yes.
I'm so sorry, guys. Suburban Plaza. They're so dope.
They are
a great young band. They are phenomenally great. And we're also doing a tribute to Dejan Studios. So it's a lot of things that we have going on that's going to be some great surprises. So you got top notch. Got to come smoke, lights, camera, action.
I ordered a gang of midgets from China. I got a bunch of Russian scarves that I'm gonna give out. They made out of real squirrels.
I can't.
It's going down. I'm telling you.
All
the gift bags are gonna have like pictures of me, like full action figure pictures.
Don't pay attention.
Yeah, whatever you need. Whatever you need.
People are going to expect this now.
No,
okay,
we're not. That's what I'm telling you right now. Don't get it.
Final question: why is this so important for Rochester?
This is important for Rochester because we need it. We need to have our community have something where all walks of life can come together and celebrate each other. I mean, I'm talking about from the pastors, the politicians, to the street, you know, just everybody coming together under one roof and saying, you know, there's no violence. The last several years that we've been doing this have not been any violence, and it's just showing community love and celebrating each other. And I think that's why it's such a foundation in our community for us to have it, and we need it. And that's why we're going to continue to keep doing it every year, and we just hope everybody support it. You know, February 21st, you know, shut up, big head. February 21st, 2016, come out. We have tickets going sell on the 27th of this month. So we definitely want people to come out and support.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on. And once again, the 2016 ROC Awards will be held on Sunday, February 21st at the Kodak Center for the Performing Arts. It's also known as the Theater on the Ridge. To learn more about the nomination and voting process and for ticket information, you can visit rocawards.com or call 585-210-8841. CityWise will be right back. Mayor Lovely Warren and Rochester Police Chief Michael Simonelli are inviting you to pair up and put an end to crime. PACTAC stands for Police and Citizens Together Against Crime and connects residents with police officers to work with local merchants and other citizens to help prevent crime. PACTAC volunteers receive extensive training, a uniform, flashlight, and a portable radio. Volunteer today. For more information, call 428-7496 or visit cityofrochester.gov/PACTAC. The City of Rochester's Art Centers and the Rochester Broadway Theater League are teaming up to bring the joy of theater and arts education to city youth and help create leaders of tomorrow. Here to tell us about this exciting partnership is Annette Ramos, Associate Director of Education and Community Engagement, and Linda Glosser, Executive Vice President at the Rochester Broadway Theater League. Thanks for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
What is RBTL's mission, and how does that work with what the City of Rochester is doing at our centers?
Well, our overall mission is to provide community quality of life to our community, engagement, education opportunities for really students and people of all ages.
And the Art centers now are really looking to be not just a place where kids go to do athletic programs, but also art engagement at a much higher level of quality of art engagement. So it's a perfect partnership and collaboration.
And what exactly is happening with this partnership? What are you doing?
Well, Marisol Lopez, Commissioner Lopez, was very excited when we approached the Art Centers to partner with them. And she identified 3 rec centers that are already doing art engagement pieces within the rec centers. And one of them was the Gant Center, has a hip-hop program. About 25 students are in that program. And so we saw that Motown, the musical, was a perfect partnership and collaboration for the students to come. We did a pre-show presentation workshop where we went in and through Holly Valentine's curriculum identified what we call inquiry questions. Can a song bring about social change? What is revolution, and has much changed since the 1960s? So the students engaged in a pre-show workshop, really engaged in critical thinking questions around this. They also learned about theater etiquette and how to be a great audience. They came to our theater, saw Motown, had a wonderful dinner, and now we're doing what we call a wrap-up, a post-workshop. Well, they'll engage in writing about their experiences.
What did they tell you about that experience, seeing Motown on stage? For some of them, was it their first time at a performance like this? About
60% of our city school students have never been to a live theater experience, and those that have vaguely remember or recall the impact of that experience. So that was the first thing that I was sort of blown away with, that they had not had that experience. They have not stopped talking about Motown. Many of them loved singing along to the music. There were a few highlights, and even Commissioner Lopez said that when she saw Jackson 5, it harkened her back to her youth. And the students really are making those connections to what's happening on our college campuses today with the need for social change and how they can really be empowered to be part of that positive change moving forward.
Linda, how do you think arts education can empower children?
I think tying it into the messages of the particular shows that we present here in Rochester, it gives them maybe a little bit more something to relate to than maybe than they would if they really didn't know the story. So getting out there into the community, getting into the classrooms before the shows get here, really spelling out the themes and maybe the characters that they can relate to, I think provides for them an opportunity to have a connection. And then when they attend, they get to really see how that story plays out. A lot of times too, as we were discussing earlier, people don't know what they don't know. So if they've never had the opportunity to be exposed to live theater, you know, they really can't know what they're missing. And in an age where we're so electrocentric, you know, we all have iPads and iPhones, and we're watching TV and doing all these things simultaneously. This is really a point, one of the very few points at which necessarily you must power down, and the focus is what's happening on stage, and it's other live human beings, you know, working and providing this story, and you're there with your peers absorbing that. I think it's just such a unique and wonderful opportunity for them that most of them, many of them, at some of the younger ages, will not have experienced up until that point.
Sure. What are some of the other educational programs that RBTL has, and how many do you have?
Well, we have about a dozen programs. Some are specifically educational component with schools within schools.
Okay.
And then some are community outreach, which are more activity-based and project-oriented. One of my favorite is our Hillside Work Scholarship Program. This is about our 5th or 6th year. We identify 3 or 4 of our productions. We do a similar pre-show workshop. The students this year are writing narrative around the themes, as well as engaging in us showcasing their writings. So at the end of the school year, they'll be actually published writers. They also will engage in a behind-the-curtain careers in theater experience at the Auditorium Theater in February. And they'll be coming to see Matilda and really working with those thematic concepts as well.
Is there a certain age that you'd like to reach or reach more?
Well, typically we have aimed for middle school and high school, and we feel really strongly that it's important to get, ideally you get kids in when they're middle school, you know, if not a little younger for some. I mean, I know different parents and families will bring, you know, really smaller children to the theater, and that's great. We're actually happy to see that. But for our own programs, we like middle school a lot because there's then the opportunity in those years beyond middle school to continue to reach them and provide a real foundation for knowledge in the theater. But obviously, the kids who don't make it in middle school, we want them in high school as well, so that's why we have these other opportunities. And then in more recent years, and it's an industry trend in other markets that are similar to Rochester, is we recognize that students aren't always just school-aged kids. They are the adults out there in the community that want experiences, and to that end, we've begun to develop more programs that really engage, that we call it more the engagement portion of what it is we're doing.
What happens, Annette, when you have a shy student?
Well, that's a very great question. Our programs will start off with what we call some group games. So they're low-risk games where they will do a large group activity, especially for my Hillside kids or my theater team kids, as well as then doing some personal narrative and some personal writing. And then prior to the classroom visit, I will speak to the teacher, and she or he may identify a student that is willing to be the center of attention. And what we usually do then is that we engage those students who are not likely to volunteer, but doing it in a group activity. So that's really exciting because we get to watch them grow throughout the year in confidence and skill. That's one of the key things our programs really want to develop is the stars of tomorrow and the art-rich experience of being engaged in a theater residency or a theater program.
What do you think are your most successful programs, and how do you gauge success?
That's a good question too. Some of our favorites, I would say, but I don't want to exclude anybody. So one of the programs that we initiated 2 years ago was called, this particular one was called Beyond the Mask, and that was specifically focused on Phantom of the Opera. And Holly Valentine, who I should mention, is our other co-director of education and community engagement with RBTL now, and she's joined along with Annette in this whole process. She did this incredible project, this complete year-long immersion project with her 5th graders, and partnered up with cast members from the touring show Phantom of the Opera. They Skyped all year long. She provided geography lessons where the tour was going throughout the United States at the time. The kids just, she said every day it was a challenge to get them focused, sometimes on non-Phantom issues, but she really created this program and demonstrated the success that could be. So as a result, we are doing this Beyond the Curtain. We had to change it from Mask because every year we won't have a Phantom, obviously. But as a result, we will be doing programs with hers and a couple other school districts as well, schools within the district that will choose a show, they'll Skype, they'll be interactive, and it'll go year long for that particular class. That's one of my very favorites.
Yeah, and what Holly is able to really bring to our partnership is that exceptional ability to write the curriculum as a base for teachers to come off of. And so that really creates a depth of work and a depth of experience, not only for the student, but for the teacher as well, because it allows them to have more tools within their arsenal in that classroom experience.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and sharing about the many educational programs at RBTL and at the R Centers now. So if you'd like more information on any of these programs, you can visit RBTL's website, and you can also go to the cityofrochester.gov/R Centers or call 428-6755. Thanks for watching this edition of CityWise. I'm Tiana Stevens, and we'll see you next week. The views and opinions expressed by guests appearing on CityWise do not necessarily reflect those of the host, WXXI staff, or any entity of or affiliated with the City of Rochester. If you have questions, comments, or program suggestions, contact CityWise at 311 or 428-1201 or send us an email at citywise@cityofrochester.gov.